All right, team, we're back on with nutrition, and I want to get you thinking about the process of improving how you get good with nutrition. Because, like a lot of things, I think that a lot of people want to just be able to flick a switch and be better at it. But there's a process involved, like practicing an instrument and progressively getting better. And I want to introduce you to, I'm going to call it the Dyson theory. It's not called that, I've just made that up. But it comes from this idea of making lots of little good and bad decisions in order to progress and get better. So the original idea behind this was Dyson had a valve that they used in their products, and what kept happening is this valve kept getting clogged up. So kept stopping the machines from working in the way that they wanted it to. So what they did initially is they went away and they spoke to a bunch of mathematicians, and they said, what is mathematically the most perfect valve that we could put into our product to make sure that it doesn't get clogged up and it works really well? Mathematicians went away, did a load of calculations, came up with a new valve, and said, here's your valve, here's the perfect valve. They put it into their machines and it kept getting clogged up. So they went away and they said, okay, let's talk to some designers, let's talk to some people who really understand materials and things and ask them what the best valve is. So the designers went away, did some designs, did some calculations themselves, and came up with their version of the valve and said, this should work perfectly for what you need. Anyway, they put it into their products and it kept getting clogged up. No good. So they went away and talked to some other people who had a different approach. These other people basically said, we're not going to figure out mathematically or using theory how to get the best valve. What we're going to do is design 100 different valves. And of all of these 100 different valves, we're going to test them all and see which one works the best out of all of those 100. And they find that out of the 100, there's this one valve that just seems to work a little bit better. So what they do is they take that valve and they make 100 more different iterations of it. So now they're going like this, like this, like this, and like this. And so they've got 100 more different iterations, all based on that one valve. And then they find the 99 that aren't particularly good, and then they find the one that does work really well, and they do the same thing. So they take that process on, and they make a lot of iterations of that design. And they do the same thing. And eventually, they find the one valve that actually does the job. Now, the reason I'm talking about this is because I want to relate it to nutrition, that rather than us just kind of getting a bit of information, getting a bit of knowledge and saying, cool, that's what I need to do, I just need to follow these exact rules, this exact guideline, which was these designs, and I'll get the outcome that I want. Instead, what we need to do is iterate, learn, fail. And every single one of these designs is you making a conscious choice or being aware of what you're doing with your nutrition, thinking about it, making an attempt to improve. So it could be as small as one day having some food and choosing between two sandwiches and thinking, this one's got a bit more protein in, I'm going to go for that. Cool. You've made a decision to see if you can improve your nutrition. The next day, you might be tempted with some food and you might try and use full-on discipline to resist, but then it doesn't work and you end up overindulging because by trying to rely on discipline, you've created this barrier, and then that made you want to overindulge in it because it was playing on your mind all day later. And so you found one of these valves that doesn't particularly work for you. And every time you're making one of these decisions and being consciously aware and trying to think about whether it is a success or not, you're trying to think about your nutrition and how to improve it, you're continuously making iterations that get you to an end point. But what it comes down to is making hundreds and hundreds of decisions consciously and being aware of those decisions to get better and better and better. And you might have to go through this process. So if this was 100 different choices, then this was 100 different choices, then this was 100 different choices, you might actually have to go through thousands or potentially just hundreds of conscious choices to help you get better and better and better at learning how to manage your nutrition effectively by improving by 1% or one choice every single decision you make or every single day. And so in terms of being able to manage your nutrition, we can look at all the data, we can look at all the models and all the theories and all the things that people say, do this, do that, do the other. But what's actually going to help you find that perfect end solution is you making lots of good and bad decisions continuously all the time, and trying to pick up from those decisions what was good and what was bad. Now, it's a lot less effort than it might seem, because all it means you do is you have a little bit of awareness of what's going on. You might start getting really good. You might be getting down to these lower levels or these further iterations where you start picking up on things that you would never have normally realized, like the fact that you don't feel hungry in the morning, and you don't feel hungry at lunch, but in the evening you have more food than you realise. But you don't relate it to the fact that it's something to do with like hours and hours earlier in the day, or potentially the day before even. But when you start getting into these really minute details, you start to realise, I actually have learned that and I've picked up on that and I've realised why that is. Or it could be more simple, and it could be literally like, at breakfast I didn't have any protein, so it didn't really fill me, and now at lunch I want to eat a bit more. Simple, straight up. But the more you go through these iterations, the more you're going to learn about yourself and your habits and your decision making and your mindset towards nutrition that's going to help you get better and better and better continuously. And we may never find the end valve, we never may find the perfect solution, but the more we try, we're going to continuously get better and better and better over time. So trust the process, trust yourself, and don't just go with the one size fits all, I've figured this out and here's your solution idea that somebody might want to push towards you, and stick to learning for yourself what's going to be right for you.